Hi everybody, we are first going to look at this puppy and we want to determine the domain and the range of the puppy. So I've given you instructions here. I want you to try this on your own and then come back and see how you did. So pause the video now. Okay, so we want to draw vertical lines to indicate where the puppy stops and starts. So I'm going to take this vertical line and it looks like the puppy starts right at about 2. So there's my first vertical line. And then we keep going across to the right. Remember, we read domain left to right. And the puppy stops, his little tippy toe is right there at about 11. So the puppy has a domain from 2 to 11. So he starts at 2 and ends at 11. If I wanted to write that as domain, and I'll go ahead and do this in interval notation, I would include the point at 2 and include the point at 11 because the puppy itself exists at those points. All right, now let's look at the puppy's range. So if I'm coming up from negative infinity and I want to see where the puppy starts. So starting at the bottom and heading up, I can see that the puppy starts at 1. And then if I continue to move from bottom to top, I can see that the puppy ends at about, 15.5, 15.6, something like that. I'll let you decide what you want to write there. And so the puppy starts at 1 and the puppy ends at 15.5, let's say. So if we wanted to write the range of the puppy, again, I'm using interval notation here, going to say that the puppy starts at 1 and ends at 15.5. So 1 to 15.5. I will include those points because the puppy actually exists inclusive of those points. Now let's look at Elastigirl. And you can fix my little copy and paste error there if you'd like to. So Elastigirl, if we look at her domain, she starts at about negative 10. And then as I continue to move to the right and to the right and the right and the right and the right, I come off the graph and she's still going. So to me, that means that she's actually continuing on forever. It's like having an arrow on the end of her foot. So her domain is that she starts at negative 10. And she goes on forever and ever to the right, which is infinity. So if we wanted to write the domain of Elastigirl, we would say that she starts at negative 10. And she never ends, so she goes to infinity. Now let's look at her range. So as I move up from negative infinity and I run across Elastigirl for the first time, I notice that she has completely come off the graph again. So again, just like last time, that's going to be considered like an arrow pointing down at negative infinity. So Elastigirl starts at negative infinity. Now if we continue from bottom to top, and we see that Elastigirl ends at about negative 2. So I'm going to say that Elastigirl has a range. Again, I'm writing an interval notation from negative infinity to negative 2. All right, so now in the next video, we'll actually apply this to some real graphs instead of pictures.